as Google would. They came in from a very engineering perspective, came right over the top on FedRAMP, et cetera, and you've been on a tear ever since. Give us a top line as to how things are going.
The first thing I would say, it's just been so incredible to see how many customers have been excited to get on board with Google Cloud. And a couple of folks on the panel have made the comment already about how lift and shift is a good first step. But there is, I think, what I've seen, not just at Google, but in my years in the industry, that organizations, whether it's public sector or private sector, will frequently experience what I call the lift and shift shot clock, which is once you've got infrastructure in someone else's data center, moving your problems to someone else's square footage rarely solves all of the challenges that you have. And if you don't begin to modernize the environment quickly, what organizations will experience is a little bit of brain drain, where talented folks are leaving the organization for other projects. There's a lot of undocumented institutional knowledge that goes along with them. And that's why Google's done things like provide millions of dollars in funding to government organizations to help them expand their digital skills, with at least, to date, 50,000 government workers across 15 states and more than that within the federal government. The other thing that's been really encouraging for us to see in terms of what's happened recently is at the evolution of the draft memo released by the OMB back in October 2023 about the future of FedRAMP. And some of the guidance that they're giving in this memo is that government agencies really should be focused on leveraging shared infrastructure between the federal government and the private sector. I think, FedRAMP, which was created in 2011, was mostly built around viewing cloud infrastructure as that, right? Infrastructure, hosted infrastructure in someone else's data center. But as time has gone on, and certainly the pandemic accelerated much of this, cloud services means much more than cores and memory and hard disk in someone else's building. And as we're seeing it in 2023, I think an unintended consequence of the program as it exists today is that FedRAMP has been incentivizing and in some cases requiring commercial cloud providers to create separate dedicated infrastructure for federal use, whether that's through its application of federal security frameworks or other program operations. So the draft memorandum, which is encouraging a modern cloud approach based on logical and software-based separation instead of physical separation, is really encouraging. I think it's a great step in the right direction. And it's no surprise that I would say how encouraged we are by this, because Google really pioneered that approach. A lot of our customers are asking us why we don't have a GovCloud. And the answer has been because we don't need one. And for that exact reason is we chose to pursue the authorizations and the accreditations at the logical level. And so we're running government workloads inside what you might consider to be a commercial data center. But the net result to our government customers is that as soon as one of our services becomes authorized or accredited in one of these programs, they become immediately available for use by our customers. And we're not maintaining, two separate code bases for services. And so government customers are always getting access to the latest and greatest of what we have to offer. That's been really encouraging to see.